This deal is brought to you in part by the following sponsors: Teal Realty, your hometown real estate team, and by Sage Consulting and Wealth Management, financial intelligence for living your life, and Bollinger Insurance Agency, serving the Lehigh Valley for over 50 years.
Coming up on this episode of The Steel, we check out the State Theater in Easton, PA, where it's all access allowed for the Steel crew, while Brian catches up with Eric Mantel down at Arts Quest. And last but not least, a breaking news Steel story that'll make a perfect end for Season 2 of The Steel. What's up, Steel Nation? I'm Nick Kessler. Along with this guy, my buddy, Brian Fulmer. And of course, let's not forget Wolfie. Together, we're on a journey exploring everything that has to do with music and food. It takes us all over the place, and we never know what we're going to run into next. But hey, this is what we're about, and this is what The Steel is all about.
3, 2, 1.
We're in Easton on a busy evening, and we're here to check out the State Theater, right off Northampton Street. We're gonna go in, hear about its history, take a little bit of a tour, find out what it's like for a national act to be booked here, and how things get prepared when there comes, basically, showtime. So let's not waste any time, and let's go in. But first, we caught up with Frank in the front foyer of the State Theater and asked him this question. Frank, you're the guy that gives tours around here on the State.
Yes, I do.
Tell us a little bit what you're going to do for us today.
Today, right now, we're standing in the foyer. You're standing in what used to be a national bank back in 1873.
You're kidding.
No, it used to be a national bank. In 1910, they created the Newmeyer Theater, and it was about half of what the State Theater is today. Then in 1926, or just before 1926, actually, they demolished that theater, widened out, and created the State Theater. So about 1926 is when this was made.
Hey, where are we going to next?
Well, let's go into the lobby.
All right, let's go. Hey, check the dude behind us, Steel.
Well, this is the lobby section. We go from the foyer, which is about an hour before, that's when the doors open. Then we come into the lobby, which is about a half hour before the doors open. Then the doors generally open to the main house about a half hour. So there's kind of stages of holding areas.
Frank, I got to be honest. I saw one of my favorite signs there. It says bar. What goes on?
Well, in the lobby, obviously we have concessions. We have a bar. We also have a mezzanine level, so that there's a bar up there too. So it's just a way of dispersing the people. So therefore, people, you don't have a long line at the bar or anything like that.
Now, also being a musician, not a guitarist. I saw a Martin guitar hanging on the wall there.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that?
Well, that was our first Martin guitar. We now are working on a second one, but artists like Vince Gill, anybody who's played a guitar has been offered, to sign. And I mean, Hall & Oates, the list goes on and on. You can take a shot of it. But they're always excited to sign.
Sign it, right.
And it's interesting because sometimes they come back and like, oh yeah, I think Brian Setzer signed it. The nice thing is that we've incorporated a lot of memorabilia too. There's posters that are hanging from like Bill Cosby and stuff. One of the more treasured ones is actually Johnny Cash. It's probably almost life-size Johnny Cash. It's actually signed by Johnny Cash to Shelley. So very impressive stuff.
Hey, where are we off to next, Frank?
Well, why don't we go into the main house?
But all of a sudden, before getting to the main house, I heard noises. No, it wasn't the state's friendly ghost Freddy, but rather the noises of a stage being set up. So I had to investigate. You see, the State Theater is unique in that it offloads each performance artist equipment via an outside street elevator. We're in the elevator right now, and that's the outside garage door closing. And now, the elevator door is closing, and we are beginning our descent down to the side stage. This elevator is the second largest top-loading elevator in PA and can hold up to 5 tons of equipment. Hey, we gotta get back to Frank in the main house. What can you tell me about the ceiling in the main house here?
Well, in the main house here, one of the things I like to always point out is between the roof line and the ceiling is about 10 feet difference. So, for all intents and purposes, this ceiling that we have in the State Theater is a drop ceiling.
Right.
And it's supported by wires, a whole myriad of, it looks like a spider web of wires up there. Even the balcony is a suspended balcony. So there's no obstructions, there's no poles in the way, so you're not gonna get a bad seat. The acoustics in this place are just phenomenal.
You really look around. Every architectural element, the carvings, the paintings, everything is here.
Yeah.
This is, I would say, classic, traditional
traditional Americana, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
no, absolutely.
part of the experience of the state is just coming here and being in. I mean, this room is awesome.
Yeah.
And how can you not enjoy a show with a background and setting like this?
Yeah.
Frank and I kept talking, but I couldn't get my mind off the noises in the background. I knew that my curiosity would get the best of me, and then I had to once again go and investigate what was going on. I went down to the side stage area, and there were people everywhere, unloading stage props, assembling scenery, and hanging up wardrobe and everything else that goes into a successful performance. Then I ventured to the main stage, where stagehands were setting up for the final show of the night. Oh, by the way, it was Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which comes to the state every year. People were everywhere, setting up lampposts, hooking up change to raise and lower stage scenery. There's bars to put Wolfie and Brian behind, and then final tweaking to make sure everything is right. Next thing you knew it, the stage was set and ready to go. But then I got a text that said, "Hey Nick, meet me up in the gallery."
We're here with Jamie. Jamie, what's your role here?
I am the Senior Vice President of Marketing here at the State Theater. I actually also run this gallery space and program it and produce the Freddie Award.
What room are we in up here?
We're in the main gallery, and what we do is feature local fine artists 4 times a year, including our Freddie show. We work with the arts community to fill the space, and we open the gallery before every show, 90 minutes before every show. On many nights we have a bar in here, so people can come in off the street and have a drink and relax. It's a lot less crowded than the lobby, a lot more breathing space. This is a space that you can rent as well. We do parties in here and events and things like that.
Jamie and I kept chit-chatting, but then I thought about how do they do the sound and lighting for a performance at the State Theater. Each show is carefully planned out and scripted, so the sound man and lighting crew are on cue during every performance. You know, you can have a beautiful stage set up, but if the sound and lighting are off, then the performance is severely compromised. All right, I gotta catch up with Jamie up in the ballroom above the lobby. Hey, and you just thought it was a theater.
All right, Jamie, we're in the cornucopia room. Now, what's it called?
The Acopian Ballroom.
Well, you know what I immediately see? I see the benches on the right side of the room, benches on the left side. It's almost like guys over
Girls
there.
and meet in the
Girls,
middle.
yeah. Those
Well,
awkward
we have
times.
the dance floor in if you want to do a jig or something.
But anyway, you can do weddings up here.
We could do weddings, parties, you name it. We also do shows up here. For example, when we have like a late night catechism, and we seat about 200 people, and it has a small stage, so they put the stage up there, and again, it's another small theater.
Hey, where are we off to next? Your office?
Sure.
Well, Jamie, here we are at operational headquarters I like to call marketing. What do you do here?
Market. It is my job to fill the seats.
What's more effective these days? Facebook blast, email blast?
Depends on the market. For shows that skew a little bit younger or middle age, the social media is fantastic, and email. A lot of response from it. And we are on Twitter, Facebook. We have our own YouTube channel. We do 2 major brochures a year in the mail, and it seems as though we can sell probably 45-50% off the bat with the brochure. It's our biggest seller, and then most of the money goes into trying to fill the other half.
All this talk of ticket sales started to stress me out, so I needed to relieve this buildup. First, I detoxed myself with some dance moves. First position, second position, I don't even know third position, and then finally, on point. Well, not really. Maybe I'm better off doing some acting. Hey, after all, we're in a theater. So I caught up with one of the actors in A Christmas Carol, Russ.
Now I'm on stage here, and we're on set. Now I'm here with Russ. Russ, thanks for coming on to Steel. I understand you're from out of town.
That's right. Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Bloomington, Illinois.
Now, your part is the nephew of Scrooge.
That's right.
All right, Steel. I got the script here.
Oh.
A little bit of a test, but I did a little theater myself.
Okay.
I remember in 4th grade, during our school play, can't even recall what that was, but anyway, in 4th grade. So let's see now.
Season actor. Here we
Obviously, you're going to be Fred,
go. Very good.
and I'm going to be Scrooge. And I'm going to start this off. A little bit of a test. Let's see how well he knows his lines.
Fingers crossed.
God, I'm really nervous about my acting. I do. Merry Christmas. What right do you have to be merry? You're poor enough.
Well, come then. What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Bah, humbug. Don't. Well, I did your line. Don't be cross, Uncle. See, Steele, that's why I'm not here. I blew it already.
So I flubbed my lines, and I had no confidence. This was not a good time to go talk to the president and CEO of the State Theater, Shelley Brown.
Shelley, now, what is your role here? I know what it is, but tell the Steel Nation.
Well, lots of things. Over the years, it's evolved. I mean, in the beginning, it was book the acts, raise the money, and fix the toilets when they break on show night.
Can I marry you? Let's say I'm a band, I want to play at the State Theater. What's the process?
The first thing that makes you incredibly appealing to me is if you can sell 1,500 seats. As the years have gone by, what I value a lot now is that you are okay, you demonstrate that you're okay to work with.
Right. Attitude, personality is everything.
Like everything in life.
And you know, in entertainment as well as I do, there could be a lot of egos
Really?
out there. Well, I'll tell you, Shelley, you're doing an absolutely beautiful job. You provide the Lehigh Valley with one of the crown jewel places to see a performance. There's no doubt, nothing is comparison to the beauty of the State Theater.
And thank you for caring. And you got to come back when there's a fun artist who'll sit down with you.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to do that.
I would love to do that. Hey, like I said before, the State Theater in Easton is the crown jewel in the Lehigh Valley and beyond. It is the epitome of a bygone era that will never return, and it's right in our own backyard to see. And all this time, I never knew there was an art gallery and a ballroom to boot. And it's available for anyone to rent and take advantage of. In fact, since this shoot, I've been back 3 times for shows. To me, the State Theater is the one and only place to truly see a performance like it was almost 100 years ago. And then, before you knew it, it was time to close the curtain on this segment. Hey, here's a little side note to this shoot. When we shot this back in December, it was the same night of my son's winter concert. Hey, Steel Nation. We just left the State Theater, and now we're en route to the Wind Gap Auditorium Theater to check out my son's 4th grade concert. So let's get there. Now, Mrs. Kessler says she's here. Mrs. Kessler, my wife. So we're gonna try to find her. Come on. I see her down front. There they are, Steel. Waiting for Daddy to come. First concert, though, I'm excited. There it is, audience. There they come out there. Come on, Whoopi, let's go. And then my son played on and on. He didn't know Wolfie was filming him from the side of the stage until he saw him. Looks a little surprised, doesn't he? Up next on The Steel, Brian follows up with EMQ to see them perform a very unusual gig at Arts Quest.
Hello, this is Chris Caffrey, and you are watching The Steel, so if you have a stereo, turn it up. If you don't, why not?
3 blind mice, 3 wise men, and 3 peas in a pod. What do these things have in common? All good things must come in threes. Like these guys. 3 Brothers Beverage, located off Blue Valley Drive in Bangor, PA, specializing in all domestic and imported beers. Now featuring a Steel Season 2 promotional package. Get 130 pack of Bud Light for only $21.69. 3 Brothers Beverage, serving the community for over 2 decades. Offer valid through the end of March 2013.